What is up, everybody? It's Matt Johnson. This is the latest edition of Real Estate Uncensored, the place where you get actionable ideas, insight, and inspiration to turn your real estate career into a life of freedom. And we are very excited to be live today. There were some initial trials and tribulations with being live, but we are live on Facebook right now. Guys, if you're listening to us after the fact, we are live 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, where you can actually get your questions answered. And that's what we're doing today, Greg, the junior grandmaster in the co-pilot seat. We are answering questions.
Yes, we are, Johnson. Like we always do, we bring goodness to the real estate community at no cost, no fuss, no muss, because we are the Robin Hoods of real estate. We take from the rich, we give to the needy, so you can live the lives of your dreams. Is that dramatic enough? Okay, so you want to know a weird thing about me you do not know, nobody really knows. I told Nick Sackis a few minutes ago when I was talking to him. Guys, we just negotiated a ridiculous freaking discount for you for Nick's program, the one that Matt and I got 40,000 plus likes and follows on our Facebook page in a week and a half or something like that. He took it from $300, guys, to $97. We have to use the code REU. And you'll get it down a fraction of what the cost was before. So, Matt, here's how odd I am. So you know in real estate, right? Okay. That a lot of the times, it takes a long time for a deal to go through and get done in 30 plus days, and so there's not a lot of sense of accomplishment very quickly. So to compensate that in my life, guess what I like to do so that I can see things come to fruition in a shorter amount of time? Just guess.
You spend way too much time petting your two cats.
I have so many comments. But you know what? It's not that. It is I vacuum. Yep. I think I'm the only man who gets excited when I got a vacuum a couple years ago for Christmas. I was the happiest guy on planet Earth. I had my own vacuum, my own high-end vacuum.
Okay.
A good day in my life, Matt. Good day in my life.
You're sad. I'm going to get you out more.
You're sad.
It's just wrong. It's just wrong. I don't even know what to say to that. I don't even know how to respond to that.
Don't, because it's going to be mean and cruel. It's going to hurt my little feelings.
That's right. Okay. So there's a few things that I wanted to get into. I just came off of 2 live broadcasts, one with Greg Harrelson and Lars Hedenberg. That was really, really good. That was the Level Up podcast. And then I did, wasn't that ridiculously good?
Whew. They got to go watch that.
Yeah,
that is redonkulously good. I mean, your heads are going to go
bloop. That's right. It's less of a more of a just bloop, like an imploding, like bloop, and just it'll just collapse on itself.
Instead of going boom out, they go boom in.
That's right.
Oh my God. Yeah,
and then the first one was the team building podcast, and we chatted with a guy who doubled his business from 30 million in production to 57 million in production in 1 year. We talked about how he did that. So there's all kinds of stuff that I've been talking with today. One of the comments that we got, one of the questions that we were not able to cover on those live broadcasts was from a mutual friend of ours, Tony Anderson and his assistant Cindy, who are looking at moving out of their current area into a new area and looking for some ways so they can potentially maximize their database in one area for another. And so we can talk about that, like when you're, let's say you want to attack another part of the city that you're in, or you want to move into a new city, a new state, maybe it's across the country. Like the principles are kind of the same. And it's really about hitting the ground running. And then there's some ideas that I have for how you can leverage the credibility of your old database and the relationships that you've made to get you jump-started in the new place. So there's some things we want to talk about there. And then we've got some objections that we want to hit. I think we'll actually start there because there were a couple that caught my eye that I think trip people up. And we've talked about some of them on the show, but they're so scattered, like among our many, I don't know, hundreds of episodes at this point, Greg. I mean, man alive, we talk to each other a lot.
Yes, we do. And you know what? The funny thing is that I think we're just celebrating as of this recording. I think we're just a smidgen over 3 years of recording together on the podcast. Not to mention, you guys, we have hundreds of hours behind the scenes doing other products and then just fucking around and talking about how to take over the world.
That's right.
But it's amazing. I think I was on YouTube last. I think we have like 400 and something videos.
Sounds about right. Yeah, because we do a highlight clip for each episode.
Mm-hmm. So you take that in half, we're at 250, somewhere in there, if not more. So
probably more,
dude.
Yeah, a lot of hours spent looking at you in your box.
Hey,
all right.
I'm a good-looking guy in a box. Okay,
that's exactly where you need to stay. All right, so let's talk about this particular objection. So this is from a Fizzbuzz, and this is probably one you've heard before because of the state of the market right now. So the objection is, hey, I'm selling my home myself, and we already have showings and people interested. We don't need an agent right now. So Greg, how would you handle that on a conversation with a Fizzbuzz?
Well, there's a couple of different ways. One, if they're just going to be real militant about the fact that they don't need you, they don't want you, they can do it. You can provide. We've talked about this several times. Provide a lot of value, and be able to bring them information. Be a resource for them. Because when they fall on their face, and they will, because it is a second job, and nobody wants two jobs. At least normal people don't. Matt and I have two jobs, but that's okay. The other thing that you can do is you can say, you know what, I completely understand you have people coming through. Why don't we do this? Why don't we put a list together of all the people that have come through the home, and that will be an exclusion list. So if someone comes in and they're on this list, you don't have to pay me a commission if you don't want to. But anyone else that comes in, then you're willing to cooperate and you'll pay me my commission. Is that a fair option for you? Most of the Fizzbuzz will say yes to that because they feel like they got to win. They get their feather in their cap. You have the ability to go out and do your marketing, but that writing that line is difficult, and it's going to be heartbreaking most of the time because you're going to work your ass off for an opportunity to work with a seller. Then some dipshit that wandered into the open house, just on some random Sunday, decides he wants to come back and buy it, and it's been a month, and you're completely X'd out of the deal, and you put a lot of effort in. So you have to look at your time value here. Is it worth your time to do that with a Fizzbuzz? Now, if you put minimal effort in, let's say you go do a Facebook Live, you list it, then you push that Facebook Live out, that video out onto Facebook, $20, $50, $200. So you're out $200. You took 20 minutes to do the live, and boom, done. That's one option. But you're going to get emotionally invested into that property. You're going to get your hopes up. You're going to be counting the eggs before the chicken before the eggs, and it's just going to lead to a lot of problems. But if you want to put it out there, there's an option. You can always have that potential, like Matt and Julie show up with their 3 obese little wood denting, insulin sucking little babies, and they might come through you, and you get a deal. There's always the potential for a deal. So if you want to just put more stuff out there, throw more against the wall, go for it. Absolutely go for it. But don't get attached to the outcome. Hear my voice on that. Now, what would you do?
That's an interesting one. Typically, here's the deal with Fizzbuzz. Obviously, we know for the most part they tend to be overpriced. And so when they say we've had showings and people are interested, I don't know that there's a lot that you can necessarily talk them out of at that point, although I will say you can ask them one key question, which is that, great, like, how many of those people who are interested have come back with an offer? Are you seeing some good offers that are at least worth considering? Usually the answer to that is no, because at best they've maybe got what they think is a lowball offer, which that's a red flag. Usually that means appropriate offer, which they think is a lowball. So there's that. But I think Aaron Wintenstein has a good point. He's referred to it as like a 3-week gap that he usually leaves. Now this is time this for your market. If Fizzbuzz are selling in 2 weeks, you can't wait 3 weeks to call him. But usually he waits a certain amount of time where he feels like they've had a chance to go ahead and overprice their home and fail, and now they're starting to realize that they've failed, and it's a pain in the butt, right? All this, holding open houses and taking phone calls and all this stuff. So he waits to even reach out until they have that sense that, oh, something's not quite right here, rather than contacting them in the first few days of the first week when everything's high and they've got buyers coming through and people are super interested. They love the house. Well, yeah, what else are they going to tell you?
It's just so pretty.
Yeah, like your house smells like cat piss. I'm leaving immediately. Like, people are just not going to tell you that, except with me and Greg's condo.
Hey, I just fucking vacuumed, homie. My house is clean,
sure, and it's a high-end vacuum cleaner, so I know it's done a magnificent job.
I'm going to take that.
You can't even see the wheel marks on the carpet.
You actually can't. But I'm going to take that dirty bag of everything that's all full of cat hair, and I'm going to mail it to your ass in San Diego. Like, Matt, gift present. Here you go, buddy.
Open
Take
it
a
up
deep
and it
whip
just
in.
like explodes in my face just with a bunch of cat hair. That sounds fantastic.
Yes, and I'm going to have the delivery guy just film it. Just get his facial reaction when he opens it up. Just get it. There it is! Yes!
Man, TaskRabbit has really expanded out to delivering small home bombs. That's crazy. Interesting.
Kitty hair bombs.
All right. Well, let's talk kitty hair bombs. All right, let's talk about this notion of packing up and moving your business from one area or another, or even maybe targeting another area within your city that are very compartmentalized. San Diego is very much like that. You know, if you work Cardiff, if you work, Encinitas, you could be the biggest agent up there. Nobody in the rest of San Diego knows who the hell you are. So you could have a great database in one area of the city and have nobody in the rest of the city. And of course, there's a lot of agents that find themselves either because they're military spouses or just through life change, or they want to move and be closer to their kids and grandkids. There's some agents that just decide like, hey, I've got to pick up my entire thing and transplant it into a whole new city, like across the state, across the country, whatever the case is. So this comes up a lot. And there's a couple things I was thinking about, Greg, where obviously the fundamentals of starting a real estate business, whether you're brand new or whether you're coming into a new market, are relatively the same. But I was thinking about the database that you have in one area, right? So the Facebook page that you have, hopefully, is transferable over to where you can maybe change the name of the Facebook page and make it the new page for your real estate practice in your new area, and all those likes just kind of carry over. So it looks like you've got a database in that new place whereas nobody that's looking at it looks at your page and goes, well, they've got 1,000 likes or 5,000 likes or whatever on their page. I bet 90% of them are from another city. Nobody ever has that thought. They go, reputable Facebook page.
I always think that. I'm like, that's probably from a different area. Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you do, Greg.
Yeah. No, of course no one ever thinks that. And I think that as you were talking, I was thinking here, and a couple of things. Moving into a new area is a tremendous opportunity to completely rebrand yourself because you have no reputation. You're only what you say you are. People only believe what they hear. Why do you think the news is so, we believe everything that the news says? We have no way to verify what the news says, but we believe them because that's what they're telling us. So if I was an agent moving into a new area, one, I'd really try to understand why I was moving into the new area. Is there an opportunity to leverage your database? AKA, is this new area a feeder market for my old farm, one way or the other? So let's say you're going from a more affordable neighborhood to a higher end neighborhood. Well, then great. Then I can take my more affordable guys and pitch them on moving into the higher end. If it's reversed, if I'm going from higher end to more affordable, then you can say, all you higher end guys, come on over, let's buy here. So you can leverage that back and forth.
That's really good. So in other words, if somebody's moving from San Diego to Little Rock, Arkansas, they could keep in touch with their San Diego database with all the fantastic deals that they find that are actually good investment deals in Little Rock, because it's a super stable Midwestern market with homogeneous homes and homogeneous population, versus San Diego where you can't hardly find anything under 800K.
Exactly right. Figure out how to leverage your assets. So people are going to feed one way or the other. That's when I always talk about when you're going to do a geographical farm area, what you need to do is you need to find the three different markets: low, middle, high. Because all of them can feed in and out of each other as you move through life, because people are going to have different needs. Just figure out how to do that. Also, when you come in like a bull through a china shop. Remember, people only believe what they hear. So if you have the ability to go into this marketplace and just come in like Christ coming back down to earth, like, the Johnson.
If you, I need to have somebody pull the audio of that, and that needs to be the ringtone for my phone. The Johnson.
Johnson. Brought to you by your local provider. And that got creepy. But that is something that I would do. Come in like you are the shit. Like, just own that motherfucker. Go in there and just do Facebook videos, be out there doing coop out, join all these different groups, do your calls, do your doors, do your mailers, just do everything you've always done, but do it with utter confidence. So when people meet you, like, how the fuck have I never heard of this dude? This guy knows what he's doing. And he's like everywhere on social media, and I just saw a postcard from him, and he showed up at my front door, and I should probably talk to Johnson. Do something like that.
Yeah, well, yeah, and what I would do is, and you're going to talk about this in your 36 to Life session, so you need to put the link for that in the comments, but I don't want to go too into depth, but let me just say that, like, if I was going into a new location, the absolute first thing I'm going to do is the social media 50, 20, 5, and 1 plan in that new market. And you'll talk about that in your session. But, yeah. I mean, basically it's a way of holding yourself accountable to get active on social media, and not in just a broadcasty put out content way. Now we've got a live training on how to do Facebook, we've got a free training on how to do Facebook Live. That's at goliveonfacebook.com, and you absolutely should do that. And in addition to that, you want to make sure that you're having actual real conversations with people, right? That you're actually messaging people, you're following up, that you're not just putting out content and then hoping people will find you, reach out to you and stuff like that. Like those reach outs and like generating inbound inquiries essentially, or people reaching out to you and saying, hey, I'd like to talk about this and this. Like that will happen over time, but especially when you hit the ground running in a new market, like don't take that for granted. Don't assume that that's going to happen because you don't have any connection. You don't have any circles of trust and credibility really built up where you have a group of people that trust you and like you yet. So focus on building that up, then figuring out, okay, who in here has a need for what I do? Zero in on those people and really know who your ideal client is, so that when you're scoping people out on social media and connecting with people, you can connect with as many of the right people as possible and not just random people.
Yeah, and I want to make sure that everybody understands that a reach out is much different than a reach around, because that has been confusing at times.
Thank you, Greg. That's very valuable information for our audience, because they totally would have gone out and had some very uncomfortable conversations with people if they hadn't heard that. Oh my God.
I was just waiting for you to stop, so I'm like, come on, Matt, just shut up. Don't make it too far off. This is just too good to not say something.
That's right. There's a great, for anyone that enjoys stand-up comedy, John Mulaney has a great stand-up special called New in Town. And there's a part in there where he talks about how he went in to to go to his doctor to ask, essentially to try to get a Xanax prescription in a roundabout way, and ended up having his first colonoscopy. So just go listen to that. It's great.
Dude, John Delaney has the real estate one too, doesn't he? He's the one.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
On the next edition of You Don't Deserve a Beach House.
Oh God, it's like he and his wife are shopping for a house, and he makes fun of the. Oh, I got to put that link for that, because that is, you will laugh your asses off, guys, because every one of you have been in that position. You're like, oh my God, I have seen that agent. I have that agent in my office. I don't want to be that agent.
That's right. That's right. All right, one last word on the moving into a new market. Something I was thinking of was you were talking about the feeder markets, right? Well, those two markets can also be connected just in terms of relationships. And so it's a great chance to get back into your database. And if you once you decide to pull the trigger and let them know, give them a call and let them know that you're moving. And just ask them, hey, do you know anybody? Is there anybody that you have connections to in that area? Especially if you've developed a good network of business professionals and entrepreneurs. Like, Greg, how many people, if I gave you a random city, I just about guarantee you that you could name off 2, 3, maybe even 4 or 5 good quality agents in that random city. I mean, Chicago, Louisville, Kentucky, Orlando, Dallas, you know what I'm saying? Like, we could all go through, and if I asked you, Greg, like, hey, I'm moving into Dallas, who should I connect with? Oh, you should, check out Wayne Sammons, check out Ronnie Phillip, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can at least name 2 or 3 people. I mean, everybody in your network that's a financial advisor, a business professional, a dentist, whatever, they're probably like that. And so if you just ask them, who do you know that I should know in that new area, you'll probably get some names and start building a database of 30, 40, 50 people right off the bat. Yeah,
you easily can do that. And, Rob St. John actually just made a good point here. Rockstar Connect would be a great group to sign up with, guys. They're my networking group. I talk about them a lot. And Rob had one of the best turnouts ever in the company's history when he did his networking event. Just blew the doors off, and It's like $500 to start, and that's like $350 a month, and they do everything for you, soup to nuts. They set up everything. You show up, have a couple cocktails, meet some new people. And guys, that's a great way to meet new people in a new marketplace because again, it's coming into the marketplace like a bull into a china shop. I mean, just come into this thing like everyone's going, man, how have I missed you? What hole have I been under? What rock have I been hiding under to have missed this real estate agent? He's prolific. Yeah, so check out Rockstar Connect, guys. They will really help you out a lot. But that just goes back to just being out. Don't be a Johnson. Don't be an introvert. You know, Howard Hughes, peeing in bottles. You know,
don't be a Johnson.
No, so don't be a dick. Is it what
I'm not a dick. I just I enjoy
Johnson.
space from people.
No, Johnson. Dick. Johnson. Big Johnson. Johnson.
No, I get it.
Johnson. Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, just clarifying.
All right.
Just want to let that go over your head.
All right. Here's another great objection. And this is when you're making outbound calls to either Fizzbuzz expires or even just circle prospecting. We rented it. Hashtag.
Say that again?
We rented it. We rented the home.
Sorry, I was distracted a second. I was reading a comment.
Circle prospecting or making Fizzbuzz or expired calls. You're just talking to potential homeowners.
Okay.
And the objection is we rented it.
We rented it. Fantastic. How long is the lease for? What are your plans with the property after the lease expires? Are you looking to do a 1031 exchange? How long have you owned it? What's your depreciation schedule? Where are you on that? Are you being able to write off your taxes? If you're just keeping it because you like the house, but it's not a good financial opportunity, walk them through their depreciation schedule with a CPA or whoever they're using. Understand where their money's going through the holes and getting away from them. Say, look, I know you rented it out. I know you like the income, but you got a lot of equity in this. Let's do a 1031 exchange. You'll take all of your equity. You won't have to pay a single dime to Uncle Sam in taxes. You'll roll that into another investment. You'll start your depreciation schedule over, so you'll get a better asset, more write-offs, still have the income from rentals. How the fuck is that not a good idea?
Okay.
And people they don't look at it like that. They just look at it steady Eddie. This is my asset. This is what I do. This is what I've always done. Blah, blah, blah. But when you show them that they can take all of their equity and roll it into, let's say they have a single family home, right? So we have one renter. Let's go buy a triplex. Great. Now we have a higher producing asset with a better write-offs. Because if you have one tenant leave, you still have two paying. See what I'm saying? And then you sit there for 2 years, let the equity appreciate, then do another 1031 exchange, sell that, and go to a sixplex. And you just stair-step this shit up to a larger investment opportunities.
Interesting.
That's what I would talk to them about.
All right. What do you think about asking them? Because here's my impression of that objection, which is that it may not always be true. And that even if it is true, it may not always be their choice, right? Where they're kind of forced into it, or maybe they have a friend who stepped up and said, hey, I'll rent the house for a while, just to give you guys some breathing room to decide what to do. And so what do you think about asking them, say, oh, well, we rented it. Oh, really? Was that something you guys were really looking to do in terms of like being a landlord? Or is that something that was just kind of like a second option just because of the circumstances?
Yeah, I mean, we want to be very careful how you word that.
Yeah,
because
that was my question. Was what's the wording on that to kind of get at that? Is that what you wanted to do, or was it just the best option for what you guys were looking at right now? Me personally, I wouldn't use either of those because that's a little bit condescending. Like, Are you sure you know what you're doing? Or did you get talked into it? Are you weak-willed? Yeah, that wasn't the spirit in which it was intended, but yes, I can see how it would be taken that way. Yeah.
So I'm talking to you, and let's role play this out right now. So Matt, tell me you just rented it out.
Well, honestly, Greg, we just rented the place out.
Oh, fantastic! Did you guys get what are you getting for rent?
It's $1,200 a month.
$1,200. That's a good amount. That's really, you did a good job on that. Well, question for you.
Okay.
So you're making $1,200 right now. What's your depreciation schedule? Are you guys able to write everything off? Is this a new rental that you guys just purchased? Out of curiosity.
No. This is our old home. Like we moved into our new home. We bought a new home, and then we had it up for sale on the market. It wasn't selling, and so we had someone that we were able to find to get in there and rent the place for a year or so.
Gotcha. Okay, so you've been out of the home for at least 6 months, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. So let me shoot this over your bow. Let me get your thoughts. This is just I'm spitballing, right? Because I think you can make more money than 1,200 a month.
Okay.
So let's look at this. So you're 1,200 now. You lived in the home. You said what? 20, 20. How many years?
Just 10.
Oh, you're at 10. Sorry.
Yeah.
Can I
before
read
we
my
moved
own
out.
writing? So you've been in it for 10 years. So you have some pretty good equity in the property. What if we were to sell the home, do a 1031 exchange, and do you know what a 1031 exchange is, by the way?
No, I'm not familiar.
Curiosity?
Mm-mm.
Okay, a 1031 exchange is this. It's a genius little legal loophole that the government put in for investing in real estate. And what it says is that if you haven't been in the home for 6 months and it's not your primary residence, you can take the property, sell it as an investment property, take all of your equity, not some of it. The government doesn't get any of it. You get all of the equity, and we roll it into a larger investment property, a like type investment. So since it's a single family, we could go buy a duplex, triplex, fourplex, and still stay within the residential lending laws. And then you can start your depreciation schedule over again, hold that for 2 years, and then if you have more equity, you can jump it up maybe to a sixplex or an eightplex or something, and just get a bigger and bigger investment property. And a property management team will cost about 7% of your monthly income, and they handle all the headaches for you, and you guys have a larger appreciating asset plus more monthly income. I mean, would that be interesting to you to make more money?
Well, you definitely, I obviously would have to check into more of what the 1031 exchange is because it's the first that I'm hearing about it. I apparently need to go yell at my accountant for not bringing that up. But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely open to it. I mean, obviously, I'm not a big fan of having all the headache. I would love to pay for property management. Right now, there's just nothing there, so we're just kind of handling the issues as they come up. But it would definitely be nice to get out of that game and not have to worry about the midnight phone calls about the water heater.
Oh God, well, who wants that crap? I mean, that's horrible. I mean,
Yeah,
that'll shorten your lifespan. So
yes.
okay, I've been doing real estate for 18 years. I have a guy his name is James Callejas. He is a 1031 absolute expert. He speaks on it all over the place. With your permission, I will pass your information to him, and he will give you a ring, and you guys can have a quick talk, and he'll explain everything about it, and then we can touch base again. How's that?
Yeah, I think that'd be all right.
Okay, perfect.
Cool.
So that's
All
how
right.
I'd handle something like that.
Very interesting. Yeah, that's awesome, man. And then you set them up almost like sending them over to a lender. You're sending them over to a subject matter expert in 1031s, and then if you come back and decide to do that, he actually runs that process. You run the home sale process, and you work together to get the deal done.
Yep, exactly right.
Gotcha.
Seamless.
All right, awesome, man. Very, very cool. A couple of good comments as far as how Rob St. John, his response would be, do you really want to be a landlord? Kind of similar to the direction that I was going. And then another good one from Rob is, what changed in your situation where you decided to rent instead of sell? That's another good question. Brandy Elliott says, well, can you tell me a little bit more about that? And that's another good one. General kind of, hey, tell me more about that. What's your perspective? So, and Stephanie asks, can you spell his name? So it's James Callejas. I don't know if Greg, if you can put a link to his website, we'll find it. We've actually had James on the show before, but it's been a couple of years. So that is on the that is in the annals of the backlogs of the show somewhere.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I'll find his information. I'll put his name and everything in here, guys. Cool. He is an absolute powerhouse when it comes to knowledge about this stuff.
Yeah, he really is. All right, so here is another good one, very, very common. I want to interview more agents or more brokers before I make a decision. Now, we're talking about this coming up in the context of a phone call, Greg, so you don't have anything set up. It's not like you're sitting at a listing appointment getting that objection. We're just talking about on the phone. So how do you handle that when you're trying to kind of set the appointment? They're interested, obviously, otherwise they wouldn't be interviewing people at all. So essentially you call up and you strike gold. They're thinking of either putting their home on the market, they're thinking of relisting or whatever the case is, and they want to interview other agents before making a decision. So how do you handle that?
Fantastic. You know what? I strongly encourage the fact that other people, you go out and you interview a couple of different agents, but just so that I know what you're looking for, what are the important aspects that you're looking for in a real estate agent? I want to make sure that I don't waste your time because I might not be the right agent for you. So what are you really looking for?
And the pullback method, and oh my goodness, so the focus is on them. Man, that was a delicious, delightful objection.
Boom, bitches! I mean, it's like the hot chick at the bar. You gotta compliment, but then say something a little bit off color, like, you look great tonight. So was that dress. Anyways.
Or as Barney Stinson would say, man, I love that hair. It's really, really pulling the attention away from that whole chin situation you've got going on.
Whole chin situation.
Yeah, let's not make those types of compliments. That does not work.
No, it
but
does
the
not,
pullback, the authentic
does.
pullback method does work. When you say, hey, I just want to see what your priorities are, what you're looking for, because obviously if you're looking to interview several people, it sounds like there's something specific that you might be looking for, either in the way that they deal with you, communicate with you, or maybe some things that you're hoping that they'll do, when they're marketing your property or something like that. So I'd love to hear a little bit of your perspective on just what you're looking for and what's important, that you expect an agent to do. So, and then just that little subtle, because I may not be the right person for you. I love that.
Yeah, I may not be the right agent. I don't want to waste your time. And all of a sudden, like, whoa. What do you mean you're not the right agent for me? Hold up. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You come over to my house. You're the right agent for me.
You beg. You get down on your knees and beg for my business, Greg. All right. What about when they're willing to schedule an appointment with you? You want to make sure that you're the last agent that they see. First of all, do you care? Do you pre-qualify that way?
Nah.
No? Don't care?
Me personally, like Matt, like we've said this like 1,000 times on the show. It's all about come in just opening up and just bringing value like you've never brought it. I mean, like a fire hose of value right out of the gate instead of tiptoeing like a princess through the listing presentation. Like, oh my God, I hope I get it. I hope I get it. I hope I get it. You're like, bitch, this is my fucking listing. I don't know what the fuck you're doing. Let's get to work.
That's right. Don't worry. I'll call those other brokers and tell them that their services are not required.
We've actually done that. It is one of those things that it's all about mindset, guys. Amy Cuddy is a professor, and she's done some tremendous work. She has a TED Talk. I'll put the link in here. I'll find it. It's unbelievable about body language and how you prep your subconscious before you go into a listing presentation. So you can be the last, you can be the first, you can be the middle, but if you mentally show up in state, ready to rock and roll, you walk in and own it, you're most likely going to get the listing. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've told you this story before, Matt. I got a $3 million listing appointment from doing outbound prospecting calls, right? Mm-hmm. And I show up to this house, and it's a big effing house, bro. And it was just me. Like, this was a solo, no team support, just me. And I'm like, and I had my jeans on and my dress shirt and my coat, but I had jeans on. And I'm like, fuck, dude, did I pick wrong? Then I sat there and I got myself in state. And I'm like, this is my listing. Nothing's coming between me and this property. I worked it. I found it. I'm going to kill it. And I'm taking it the fuck home, and I'm going to cook it. This is mine. Mm-hmm. And I got myself revved up, and I walked through the front door and just owned my airspace. Mm-hmm.
And that's when the guy came out with a shotgun and said, "Get off my lawn."
Stay away from my daughter. Damn it.
That's right. All right. Rob St. John has a great objection I want to cover here in the last few minutes that we have left. Says, what about when not all the decision makers will be there? And he gives an example. My husband will be fine with whatever I say, or my wife will be fine with whatever I decide with. You can just meet with me. Greg, what do you think?
I typically I say thank you. I appreciate that. I know you guys are an amazing couple. But the way I work is that we like to sit down with everybody just in case there's some ideas or maybe something that has shifted that they hadn't had time for you to tell you yet. And so let's do this. When will husband or wife be available to meet up? Yeah. Again, this is your business, so you guys can really kind of do what you want. I've gone to appointments without both of the decision makers there, but it's all about setting it up before as well. I mean, tell them, hey, this is what we need to do. We need to sit down with both you guys and really come up with a game plan so that we can go at this together as a team right out of the gate. And so it's the verbiage I'm using here. Get together as a team, get it out of the gate. I'm bringing us together as a one. It's going to save you a lot of time. But if you have to go and just do one of them and do the other one, yeah, I guess you can do it. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it, but I guess you can do it.
Yeah.
But whatever.
I'm kind of of the same mind. You can always offer an alternative, like, well, hey, like if you guys are, if she's stuck at work, stuck at the office or something, instead of me coming out and only meeting with you, why don't we do a video conference where we can get all three of us together? That way nobody has to drive anywhere. Your wife doesn't have to be in the same physical space. If she's stuck at the office or if you're stuck at the office or whatever the case is, we can set a time. We just hop on a video conference and at least we get a chance to all chat, the three of us, and make sure that everyone's on the same page and everybody's, if we decide to move forward, that everybody's ready to hit the ground running and that there's no, we don't have to play the telephone game where I explain something or you and I agree on something and then you have to go try to explain it and it doesn't quite come out right. We all have that time where we try to communicate things and we're, it doesn't always come out the right way. So it's definitely not the ideal situation to try to communicate that way, and we don't want the telephone game to happen.
We don't want you to show everyone that you're a bumbling idiot. We just want to believe it while we all sit together. We don't want to tell the wife that again.
Sure, why not, Greg? Oh my God! All right. Well, let's wind this down. The couple things I'll get to in a second. Sort of just for some thoughts on what I'm reading and what we're doing with our business and stuff like that. But Greg, the 36 to Life that is launching very, very soon and close to being sold out. Is it today? Yes. So if you are live today at 1, perfect. So you have 39 minutes. 39? Yeah, something like 39 minutes to go sign up for that. If you're listening or watching to this later, there may be a group launching soon that you can jump into. So reach out to Greg about that. I think, Greg, you've got a link that you can pop in the Facebook comments for the people that are actually with us live so they can jump on that. And we also have our free training, GoLiveOnFacebook.com. That is all about exactly what I said, go live on Facebook, how to find your next client using Facebook Live, how to build your credibility, become the rock star agent to your social circle and your community. And so that is there. But let's close out with this. This is what I've been reading, Get a Grip, which is by Gino Wickman and Mike Payton, who's actually been on the show. I think he was on the show last summer. And it's a really, really great reminder of the fact that you may think you have 20, 30, 40 things that all need to be done at one time to kind of grow your business. It's the worst thing you can do. Greg, you and I were talking about this the other day. It's like we spent a lot of time over the last couple of years making little progress in a lot of different directions, and a lot of good things happened. And in the last couple of years have been amazing. But we would have made a lot, probably faster progress in certain areas if we had restricted ourselves and been more focused and really zoomed in on one or two really key things and held each other accountable to make massive progress on those couple of things. And that's really what this year is all about. So just wanted to briefly recommend that. If you're a reader, go grab it on Amazon. If you prefer Audible, go get it there. It's called Get a Grip by Gino Wickman and Mike Payton.
And Matt, I swear to God, dude, I think we spend so much time together, we share a brain.
That's a very scary place.
I know.
It's like Children of Men in there. It's post-apocalyptic.
I was listening to Darren Hardy. I love his keynote speeches that he has on YouTube, and I just posted in the link here, guys. It's called Insane Productivity. And Matt, it talks about exactly what you were talking about stop going a mile wide and an inch deep. If you are able to, your productivity, that's the lack of productivity is what's killing your business. Distractions are killing your business. And the average, so Matt, you maybe know this stat. Fortune 500 CEOs, Forbes, I think Forbes did this report, and they went out and surveyed a bunch of CEOs, and they tracked their productivity in a day. Now, what do you think the productivity of a Fortune 500 CEO is in a 16-hour day? What do you think their productivity is?
Less than, well, because I know this, I know it's less than, self-admittedly from CEOs themselves, it's somewhere between an hour, maybe 2 a day, if that.
Nope. 23 minutes.
23 minutes. Good God.
23 minutes. Darren was a real estate agent, and he was working just stupid hours, right? And he got behind this whole concept. He got so neurotic, he brought a stopwatch with him. So when he walked up to a front door, on. When he left, off. When he got on the phone, on. When he got off the phone, off. I think he worked a 16-hour day too. Guess how much his production was done in his days when he was doing real estate, when he first started.
Okay. Enlighten me, Greg. I'm not going to venture a guess. 19 minutes. Good Lord.
19 minutes. In his 4 years in real estate, he hit an hour of productivity 4 times, and he threw off his parties for every time he did that. But he was also the most successful agent in the entire county of Alameda County when he was doing real estate right up here in my neck of the woods. So what I'm saying is, guys, is hone in on what you're really what you need to do. The distraction will destroy you. People can concentrate for 3 minutes and then are distracted, and it takes 11 minutes for them to get back on task. I'm not a mathematician, but that doesn't seem like it's a very good setup for really just blowing out 2018. Yeah. So work in 90-minute spurts. Turn the phone off. Don't respond to anything. Work on your project for 90 minutes, then take a break. You will be blown away about your product, the production you can do in 90 minutes, and then go take a breather. I'm going to start that today or tomorrow. Today's a little hard, probably tomorrow. But I'm really excited to see, because there's some projects I really want to get done, and just see what happens. So,
well, it's about time you started pulling your weight around here, Greg.
No shit, I know. I feel so bad. I mean, I do weigh 240 pounds. But hold on, Matt. We can't leave. We cannot leave, Johnson.
Okay.
Hold the presses.
Okay.
We've joined EXP, everybody. And we are proud to wave our freak flag, and we want to grow a team. We want you guys to come join us. Reach out to me. Go to bookmcdaniel.com. Guys, come and have a conversation with me. See if switching over to EXP is the right move for you. I will lay it down for you guys. You will have 3 revenue streams in the EXP real estate world, and I will explain those to you when you guys set up the call. You'll get instant gratification. You'll get monthly installments from your agents, and you have an end game, an exit play that nobody really ever talks about, that you grow steadily over the years of being in the business and on the teams. Not to mention the litany of additional opportunities that you get with joining our team. Which kind of one of the things is, remember those predictive leads that we've been talking about? Guys, I did calls on 130 leads yesterday of the predictive leads. I had a 25% connectivity rate. Anyone that does doors or calls knows that is astronomically high. I have 4 solid follow-ups, and I got a call back from a guy who has 4 properties that he wants to sell down the road, and he just liked talking with me, so we struck up a friendship, and I offered to buy him tacos, and he was sold. And I got one agent that I'm going to be able to create some buyer opportunities by doing a Facebook Live video on her property. Guys, you will have we haven't decided what that's going to be, but there will be a discount on those leads so that you will not have to pay market rent. And I'm telling you guys, the numbers we're coming back on this thing are effing insane. I mean, this is like, we're cooking blue, baby. We are cooking blue.
Cooking blue. This is the meth of real estate.
First taste is free, but then you got to pay.
Exactly. All right, guys. So go to bookmcdaniel.com. That is bookmcdaniel.com. Grab a time on Greg's calendar. And then, guys, for me, if you'd like to connect, whether it's on podcast production, if you're thinking of starting a podcast for your coaching consulting company, organization, whatever, especially if you want to break into new markets, reach out to me about that. Or if you are an agent looking to take the next step in your career and you're not quite sure what program to buy, what coach to go with, and you just have some questions that you need an impartial second opinion on from somebody that doesn't really have a dog in the fight, more than happy to jump on a very, very limited number of those types of calls per week. So go to my calendar at 15.bookjohnson.com, and you can see what I've got available for those types of calls. So with that said, Gregory, I think we should put a little bow on this one, and let's send this one on home.
We should put a bow on it.
Yes.
Matt, since you have controls of this,
I don't have any gift
what we're going to be doing. And we're sure not shipping this anywhere. But you know what, guys? We do this because we absolutely have a love affair with you. We see this every single time. We want to see you guys grow. We want to see you explode. We want to see you to be the best version of you. Book time with me on EXP. Keep watching this stuff. Share it out, guys. We want this industry to change. We want it to do it at the grassroots level, and you guys are the ones that help us do it. But, Matt, as always, you know what? You know what I'm thinking?
I think you should say it, Greg, and then we'll be done.
Peace out, ninjas! We gone.